Dear friend, are you tired in your bones? Is there a quiet hum of exhaustion that runs beneath the surface of your busy days? A feeling that you are a human doing rather than a human being. Caught on a treadmill of tasks, notifications, and expectations. Where your worth feels tied to your productivity and your to-do list is never, ever done. And in the rare moments you allow yourself to stop, does a subtle, nagging guilt begin to creep in? A voice that whispers, "You should be doing something. You are wasting time. You will fall behind." And so, even our rest becomes a kind of work, a scheduled, optimized, and often anxious activity designed to make us more productive when we start moving again. We have forgotten how to truly be still. If this relentless rhythm feels familiar, if your soul is breathless and longing for a true, guilt-free rest, then this message is a gentle invitation for you. It is your permission slip to stop, to step out of the frantic current of the world and into the quiet, holy rhythm of God. It is an invitation to rediscover the Sabbath. Let us begin with a prayer for every weary soul. Creator God, who in your wisdom rested, teach me the sacred art of stillness. Quiet the anxious voices of productivity in my heart, and help me to trust that you are holding the world even when I let go. Amen. Our understanding of Sabbath rest begins not with a command, but with a celebration at the very dawn of time. The book of Genesis paints a picture of 6 days of explosive, joyful, creative work. God speaks, and galaxies ignite. He separates the light from the darkness, the waters from the sky. He forms the land, fills the seas, and breathes life into every living creature. It is a symphony of divine energy, a universe spilling forth from the heart of God. And then, on the 7th day, the symphony comes to a rest. The text says something astonishing. On the 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Let us sit with the profound mystery of this. God, the infinite, inexhaustible source of all energy, rested. He did not rest because he was tired. He rested because he was finished. He rested to enjoy what he had made, to delight in it, to look upon it and declare with a deep, cosmic satisfaction, "It is very good." Rest was not an afterthought. It was the pinnacle of the creation week. It was the goal toward which all the work was aimed. The very first thing God made holy was not a person, not a place, but a period of time, a space in the rhythm of the universe for ceasing, for delight, for being. He built a sanctuary in time. Generations later, on another mountain, this divine rhythm is given to humanity as a gift. After freeing his people from the brutal, relentless slavery of Egypt, a system of non-stop, soul-crushing productivity, God gives them a new way to live. He gives them 10 commandments. And right at the heart of these commands is this radical invitation. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work. It is easy to hear this as a restrictive rule, a burden, but for a people whose bodies and souls were scarred by the memory of endless brick-making under the taskmaster's whip. These words were liberation. This was a declaration of freedom. God was saying, "You are no longer slaves to productivity. You are my children, and in my kingdom, we have a rhythm. We work and we rest. We create and we cease. Because your identity is not in what you produce, but in who you belong to." If this idea of rest as liberation speaks to your weary heart, let your like be a quiet signal of that longing. This is the central and most difficult truth of the Sabbath. It is a radical act of faith. To stop for a full day in an ancient agrarian world was to risk your livelihood. The crops would not stop growing. The weeds would not stop spreading. To stop in our modern, hyper-connected world is to risk falling behind. The emails will not stop arriving. The competition will not stop innovating. To truly rest is to make a defiant declaration of trust. It is to say, "For this one day, I am going to act as if the universe is not held together by my own frantic efforts. For this one day, I will trust that God is God, and I am not. For this one day, I will lay down the heavy burden of my own importance." The Sabbath is a weekly practice of letting go of the illusion of control. We live our lives as if we are the ones spinning the planet. We carry the weight of our families, our finances, our futures, as if it all depends on us. And it is crushing us. The Sabbath invites us to gently set it all down, to recognize that the birds are fed, the lilies are clothed, and the galaxies are held in their orbits, not by our striving, but by His grace. He is the one who holds all things together. And when we cease our work, we are not abandoning our responsibilities. We are simply transferring them into more capable hands. This is the internal arc of the Sabbath. It is a journey from anxiety to trust, from a mentality of scarcity, "I don't have enough time," to a mentality of abundance. God provides. From the exhaustion of self-reliance to the peace of God dependence. So what does this look like for us today? In our world of 24/7 connectivity, it is not about legalism. It is not about creating a new set of stressful rules about what we can and cannot do. It is about capturing the heart of the command. The heart is ceasing. The heart is delighting. The heart is resting. Perhaps a true Sabbath for your soul is not a full day. Perhaps it is an hour where you turn off your phone and you sit in silence. Perhaps it is a morning walk in nature, with no agenda other than to notice the beauty that God has made. Perhaps it is a meal with loved ones, with no distractions, where you simply delight in being together. Perhaps it is a commitment to not do any work that feels like a should or a have to, and only do things that replenish your spirit. The form is less important than the function, and the function is to stop producing, and to simply be, to stop consuming and to simply delight, to stop worrying and to simply trust. In the quiet of a Sabbath rest, our souls can finally catch up with our bodies. The frantic, fragmented parts of ourselves can be gathered back together. We can hear our own thoughts. We can feel our own feelings. We can begin to hear that still, small voice of God that is so often drowned out by the noise of our own striving. This is not laziness. It is a sacred act of resistance. It is resisting the cultural lie that our worth is in our work. It is resisting the internal anxiety that we are solely responsible for our own lives. It is the bravest thing a busy person can do. If this invitation to a guilt-free sacred rest feels like a cup of cool water for your soul, we invite you to subscribe. This is a place dedicated to finding God in the quiet rhythms of grace, not in the frantic pace of the world. In the comments below, perhaps you might feel led to simply write, "I will rest," not as a promise you might break, but as a gentle intention, a prayer for your own weary heart. Let us close with a blessing for all who are tired. May you have the courage to stop. May you have the faith to let go. May you find a sanctuary in time, a quiet harbor in your week, where you can simply cease your doing and rest in the knowledge that you are a human being, beloved by the God who holds all things. May you receive the gift of the Sabbath. Amen. Quiet now. Just breathe.